What is the best keyboard for me to buy as a beginner? Well, I'm glad you asked because we're going to answer that question today. Hi friends, my name is Scott Grover with Worship Piano, and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys a lesson right out of my brand new Worship Piano course called Basic Essentials and Foundations. And in this lesson, I go in depth about talking about different keyboard brands and exactly what you need to look for in a worship piano that is beginner friendly. We're going to answer all the questions you might have. We're going to tell you what you do need and what you don't need. So I hope you enjoy it, and we're going to jump right into that lesson. All right, let's talk about keyboards and how to choose which one is right for you. So you don't need the biggest or most expensive keyboard out there to get started, but the right kind of keyboard does make a difference. So let's start off with just a few common questions that I hear quite often. Many people ask, what kind of keyboard should I get? How much should I spend? And what is the best brand? These are all really great questions, and I'm going to answer all of those in this lesson. So starting off, the number one thing that I recommend is a full-size 88-key keyboard. You can think of this as a full canvas for your worship playing. A full-size keyboard means you won't outgrow it. You'll develop proper finger technique right from day one. The second thing is weighted keys or semi-weighted keys. Weighted keys, that just simply means that it's going to feel like a real acoustic piano. That's going to give you the control and help you develop the strength and sensitivity with your touch right from day one. Semi-weighted keys are a bit lighter, and they do tend to be a little bit more budget friendly. They are still a great starting point, so if that's where you need to start on your budget, don't sweat it at all. Next, let's talk about some brands that are both beginner friendly and worship ready. Hi friends, I just wanted to take a moment and interrupt the lesson to let you guys know that I have a free gift for you. I've developed a free PDF download of a worship keyboard buying guide. This is also going to go into even more depth about each one of these brands that we're going to talk about in this lesson. And then also it has a comparison chart. It has a ton of just great information as well as links embedded right into the PDF. So if you see a keyboard on there and you find one that you really want to purchase, you can click the link right from the PDF and make that purchase. So this is just a guide to help make it really, really simple for you guys. So I hope you enjoy it, and we're going to jump right into that lesson. Brands like Yamaha, Korg, Casio, Alesis, Roland, and Nord. These are all really great brands, very dependable, and I would recommend any of these brands for a keyboard purchase. I also wanted to kind of point out just a few of my beginner favorite piano models that are out there. The first one is the Yamaha P45. It has a really, really great piano sound, very dependable, and the feel of the piano is going to be very close to an actual acoustic piano. So Yamaha has done a really great job with this one. The second one is an Alesis 88-key recital play. It's a very budget-friendly option. It also comes with a stand and a sustain pedal, so you kind of get a little bit more bang for your buck with this one. And then thirdly, the Alesis Recital Pro. This one is still very budget conscious, but it's kind of like a level up from the Recital Play. I would recommend all three of these models for a beginner purchase. They're all really, really great. Now, if you're really looking to level up and make a long-term investment in a keyboard that's going to last you a really long time and translate really well all the way up to that pro level, I would recommend the brands Yamaha, Roland, Korg, and Nord for that. But again, I really want to point out you don't need the most expensive, the fanciest keyboard. All of those things are great, but you don't need all those bells and whistles to get started. That's not what this course is about. This is about starting where you're at and working with what you have. If you already have a keyboard or have an acoustic piano at your house, definitely start there. I don't want you to feel like you have to make a purchase in order to get started with this worship piano course. With all of this being said, don't stress about getting the perfect keyboard. The best keyboard for you is the one that you're going to use consistently. So start with what fits your life for right now and then you can always grow from there. Next, something else that is really important to talk about is that some keyboards come fully loaded, others are a little bit DIY, as I would like to say. So here are the things that you're going to need to check for when you are purchasing. The first thing is, does the keyboard have built-in speakers? If it does have built-in speakers, then pretty much all you got to do is plug it in and you are ready to go. If it does not, you're going to need to purchase a few other things. You're going to need an instrument cable, as well as you are going to need a small keyboard amp. Some of the other things that you're also going to need is a sustain pedal. Most keyboards do not come with them, so you want to double check that before purchasing. The sustain pedal is one of the must-haves for worship music. It helps to connect the notes and give you that smooth and expressive sound. You're also going to want to double check and see if your purchase comes with a keyboard stand and a bench. Once we have our keyboard and all of our gear, now we're going to set things up so that you can play comfortably and confidently. So let's kind of walk through a little bit of a setup checklist together. Once you have your keyboard set up on your stand, as well as you have your bench set up, you're going to want to make sure that these are both set at an appropriate height. You want it to be to where your wrist will rest just above the keys and not below the keys. If you have a keyboard that has built-in speakers, all you have to do is plug in your power, your sustain pedal, and you're ready to go. If not, if you have a keyboard that does not come with built-in speakers, you're going to need to connect it to your amplifier. So you're going to plug one end of your instrument cable into the left output of the back of your piano. Some of them also label this as a left mono output. And then you're going to plug the other end of your instrument cable into the input on the amp. Once you have everything plugged in, you're going to want to power on your keyboard first. Then you're going to want to have the volume turned all the way down on your amp. Power that on, slowly bring the volume up on your amplifier, then come back to your keyboard and slowly bring up the volume on your keyboard until it's at a desirable level. It is important to turn the keyboard on first before turning on the amplifier to avoid a popping noise and sound that can also damage the amp. Thirdly, you're going to want to plug in your sustain pedal right into the back of the keyboard. It's going to be labeled either sustain pedal, or some models label the input for the sustain pedal as a foot switch, and then you place your sustain pedal right under the piano. Now it's time to power everything up and we're ready to go. Hi friends, I hope you guys really enjoyed that lesson and that it really helped to answer some questions about where to start with making a keyboard purchase. Also, don't forget to click the link in the description and get your free PDF guide. Also, if you're ready to take the next steps into worship piano and you just don't really know where to begin, you have a desire and a passion for worship, and you just really want to learn, go to worshippiano.com and check out my brand new worship piano course, Basic Essentials and Foundations. I would love to see you there, and I would love to be a part of your journey with growing in worship piano. Thanks again, friends, and we'll see you again soon.